Hey everyone, welcome back to Rewind by Affinity Streaming. I'm Contrell, joined as always by Charlie. How are you, Charlie?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good,
How are you doing?
great. Today's movie is Short Circuit, 1986, rated PG, runtime of 1 hour and 38 minutes. And if you have not seen this cinematic masterpiece, spoilers are ahead. But first, guys, as always, please follow us on our social networks. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We are at Affinity Streaming Facebook. All right, Charlie, rewatch or first watch for you? Short Circuit,
That's a
1986.
rewatch. I had this on VHS. I don't know why we had it on VHS. Probably my parents got it, but we had it on VHS, and I would watch it a bunch as a kid. I don't think I've seen it
Nice.
since I was pretty young, though. So,
Same. I actually saw it in the theaters as a
yeah.
kid.
Oh, as a kid.
So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, as a kid. Yep. I am, 1986. So I was a kid in 1986. Maybe 12 or 13, something like that.
Okay.
I'd say that's a kid, but that's a good 13-year-old boy movie. It was robots and whatever and guns. But directed by John Badham, who coincidentally also directed Saturday Night Fever, which he paid homage to in the movie.
Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. I watched it on Hoopla, which is a library website. You put your library card in and you can watch movies and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
Starring Steve Guttenberg and Ali Sheedy. 61% critics, 67 audience, 5.8 on Film Affinity. So give me your overview, Charlie.
What, the plot or what
of the movie? Yeah, what your overall just enjoyment and your general.
I don't know. I still enjoyed it. I think I still enjoyed it for the most part, but there's a lot more of nothing happening than I remember.
Yeah, it felt long for 1 hour 38 minutes.
I know. I was like, there's a lot more of this movie is just the robot Johnny Five just being being cute, basically. And I'm like, wow, that's like half the movie is him just making one-liners and stuff.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I definitely didn't. I feel like I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, and I feel like it definitely was not as good as I remember. It just didn't seem to hold.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I did love it as a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still enjoyed it now. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it is kind of like a forgettable 80s movie. Things kind of just happen and go along and the story's over. They fall in love, and it's like the thing we complain about a lot, where they just fall in love.
They fell in love really fast.
Basically no reason.
Yeah.
It's over one night, they're not even talking to each other, and suddenly they kiss. It's like, wait, what happened?
I understand, he had never, been out, and it was, the first girl he sees syndrome, Little Mermaid, or...
That was a little... Yeah, I didn't notice that comment before. It was just like, is he, a prisoner there?
I know, and it seemed like, you can't fire me. I, built all this stuff. Why would you fire me? It just seemed off, but
they made it a little too nerdy or something.
Yeah, apparently they didn't want Steve Guttenberg for this part.
No.
They wanted a shyer type person like Dustin Hoffman or somebody.
I don't
person who could play less, a more timid person.
Well, I don't know if that would change it. That's how they wrote the guy.
And apparently the writer didn't mean for this to be a kid's movie. He wanted it to be more deep and meaningful, but it just didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to be deep and meaningful when your robots are doing Mo, Curly, and Joe.
Exactly. You got Three Stooges.
They do they go into kind of the robot thing, where it's does he have a soul or whatever, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What makes us human? the classic
Yeah.
robot thing.
All right, so let's roll through this.
Look, I will say he's more of a character than Alfie was, and
Than the creator.
than in the creator. I mean, for
Yeah.
real though, we know what he wants. We know
Yeah.
he has a goal. He's working towards it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Agree to disagree.
Okay, but
All right.
what did Alfie want? What
Alfie
was her
just wanted
dream?
to exist. Alfie was learning. Him
Did
like
she?
was a
No.
child and was
She never.
learning.
Yeah. So was he? I don't know. Alfie
All
had no
right. Same
character.
thing, but less cute than Alfie. All right.
What?
Nova Labs and Newton Crosby, played by Steve Gutenberg, invent this robot. They all have numbers. So number 5 is plugged into the generator, and the guy says, "I'll get it whenever."
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
I liked the
gets,
opening though. It's like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory thing where they like show all the moving parts and stuff.
yeah. All the
I don't know. I
old
always like that.
technology.
Yeah, I always like that when they do that in
You
movies.
like that? So he's struck by lightning and becomes sentient,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So it escapes the facility. They're based in Oregon. He's found by Ali Sheedy of Breakfast Club fame. Have you ever seen Breakfast Club?
No, I haven't.
Wow. That's going on the list then.
I was too busy watching Short Circuit. How can I watch
Yeah,
that?
all right. So she discovers the robot.
Yeah, they introduce him like I guess that's the point, is like she's supposed to look like an alien to her, say about all the
Yeah.
red lights and everything.
Yeah, kind of like I don't know if this was supposed to be like an ET ripoff, like at the beginning. I don't know. When did ET come out? 84 or 80?
I think before this, right?
Before this, yeah. So she thinks it's an alien. She takes it inside her crazy ass house.
Yeah. I'm not surprised they're like the city's trying to condemn her house. It's like filled with animals.
With all the animals. So
Yeah.
number 5 goes through the encyclopedias. Let me ask you, Charlie, growing up, did you have a set of encyclopedias in your house?
I don't know if we had a set of encyclopedias.
We definitely did.
Because I think by the time they had the house, and the time they were thinking about it, they got them on like CD or something.
See, that was after my time. We actually had I just remember encyclopedia salesmen like knocking on the door. Like we had,
really?
Yeah, we had the whole set. Because it was either like go to the library or like if you had to do anything, you had your own set of encyclopedias.
Yeah.
So, and obviously she had her own set of encyclopedias in 1986. You never know when you need to look up something and you don't have the internet. So
yeah. Hey, did you ever read those? I was for kids, but it was like Encyclopedia Brown.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but like, what would they call them now? Because no one would even know.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like Google Brown.
I think
ChatGPT Brown.
That's funny. That's interesting. Do kids now know what encyclopedias are? I wonder.
No,
I have to ask my kid.
Even when I was growing up, they were just on CD.
On CD, yeah.
I mean, you could still find it. It's like I still knew what it was, but it's like you weren't like looking like you were. I could already go on the internet at that point.
They probably would call him Google Brown. What's up, Google Brown?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Bing
Brown. Sponsored by Microsoft, Bing Brown. Another thing that struck me by this scene in her house is that she had a skunk, and that led me down a rabbit hole of if you could domesticate a skunk.
I think you kind of can, right?
You can, but it's not legal in every state.
Yeah,
but it is legal in Oregon, and it's also legal in Pennsylvania. So if you wanted to have but like, it's only legal in like 14 states. Everyone else is like banned it. But
okay, so if we wanted to like reenact this movie, we could. Is what?
Yeah, but we would have to do it in Oregon or Pennsylvania.
Well,
with a domesticated skunk. So number 5 learns about death when he accidentally crushes a grasshopper.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to go for, and they're trying to be like deeper, I guess.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh, like dead. Oh, you can't just put it back together. I don't know. I kind of like that even still.
yeah, and I think the fear of the disassembling is what drove the movie. Is what
Yeah, exactly.
drove his lust for being free. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Because he understands, like, oh, like that might destroy me. Like I won't be
Yeah.
the same.
So this crazy army person is coming after um,
Schroeder, the guy with
Schroeder.
three little Schroders. Schroeder. I
Schroeder,
think. Oh no, I think it was Schroeder, right?
Schroeder, yeah, with a K,
Yeah, it
played by
was.
G.W. Bailey.
Yeah.
Um,
At one point, he's like, I have three kids, three great little Schroders." I was like, what are you talking about? Man? Stop.
what? I just don't understand why, if the robot was 11 million, why they were just like, yeah, okay, go shoot it up. Like
I know, right?
they had no, um, they just didn't try to like do anything. All right, so anyway,
Well, I guess they
they
were scared because he had a big old laser
he
on
had the
his
big laser
shoulder.
on his shoulder.
The
Yeah,
big laser cannon that can just blow up tanks, I guess.
blow up tanks, but get blocked by rocks.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I noticed that this time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait a
uh,
second. Maybe I mean I thought about it, I was like, okay, I can maybe they're just trying to be like, oh, they're just trying to capture him, so they're not trying to just blow him up. Maybe,
yeah.
but that is a little silly.
Yeah.
Or how
Maybe it
can
was
you
some
shoot
kind of
the guy's belt
special.
buckle?
It was a special rock that maybe it was like could
Yeah,
deflect laser diamond or something. Maybe it was a
yeah. I mean, like
diamond
he
coated
shot the
rock
guy's shoes and his belt
belt
buckle.
buckle. Yeah, but he got hit by a pipe. Like, so you blocked all his bullets, but you couldn't dodge a pipe when he swung your
He was
pipe
busy.
at.
He was busy
He was,
spouting one-liners.
yeah. And the second time he escaped, like, so you capture him and you're heading back to the facility and you
Yeah,
just put him in a van with like one guy. And then where's the army? Like, they just didn't escort them back to the base.
I know. I guess
They,
they just hung out. They went to the bar.
yeah.
They drove another way. I don't know.
They went a different route.
Yeah, they're just like, you
Uh,
know what? I haven't seen this view. Let's go look. Let's go on this like the scenic route.
so he escapes, goes back to Stephanie. That's
Yeah,
when the boyfriend came, right? And he had the conversation with the boyfriend,
the ex boyfriend. Yeah, and
the
then
ex boyfriend.
I didn't realize how fast he actually takes that car apart. Like I never really put that together in my head as a
He
kid.
took it apart in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. He like goes outside, and the ex boyfriend like follows very quickly, and it's already completely in pieces. It's like, oh, hey, wait a second, excuse me, guys. I call bullshit here. Hello.
he
I
was
know his hands can move
he
fast because
works
he can turn the
fast.
pages,
Yeah,
but he
yeah. The
doesn't
way he
move
turned the
around the
pages,
car
so
that
he's
fast.
just like, woo.
Yeah,
There you go, done. Um, so they send the robots after him, and that's when they turned him into the Three Stooges, the robots, that we love so much.
yeah.
Um, that was dumb. I feel like I loved that part as a kid though, because I was a big Three Stooges fan,
Oh,
and
really?
I felt like I loved that as a kid. I remember that part. So the weird part to me was like the like whole campfire in the desert scene where
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, like how did they get
bonding.
to the desert? Like how far did they drive? There's no. I
Yeah,
don't think there's a desert in Oregon.
maybe Northern California. Maybe they're in like Southern Oregon, and then they drove to California, and there's a desert in
I guess
Northern California.
they must have driven pretty far.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
in
yeah,
that
they did empty
stolen
the gas
van.
tank. So
Yeah, they ran out of gas, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess
in
you
the
can go
food truck.
100 miles.
She had a food truck earlier before food trucks were fancy,
Yeah,
before they were popular.
yeah.
Um, so lots of mayhem ensues. They kill a fake version of him that he built in the back of the
Well, we should
van.
talk about the fire thing, fireplace or whatever
What fire?
campfire stuff.
Oh, where he
Yeah,
determined he was actually human and told him
yeah,
jokes.
yeah. I kind of like
Yeah, we
that.
talk about how you like that scene.
Well, for the most part. Well, just like
Okay.
the going over like the different tests. That's about
Yeah.
as close as they get to being deep, I think.
Yeah.
Where
That's when she
there's
like magically like started kissing him. Like now she's in love with
oh
him.
yeah, forget about that. Just forget
Alishidi.
about that. I'm talking about like the scene between him and the robot.
And between him and the robot, yeah.
Yeah, where they're going back and forth, and he's just trying to like learn. He's trying to learn like okay, and he's like giving it. He doesn't believe, but he's still just like testing, like like okay, how about this? Okay, what about this? What about this? Does this look like? What does this look like to you?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't know.
Another thing, I don't think Ali Sheedy would have used MSG in her tomato soup. She seemed like an organic, natural type girl.
Well,
So
probably
she gave him tomato soup, and he was
yeah.
reading the ingredients, and he said MSG, and I was like, she wouldn't put MSG in her soup.
Well, it's just like a can of soup. It's just
Was it a can of soup?
probably, but
She didn't make it herself.
probably not.
She had a whole food truck where she had like natural fruits and
They lost all the
natural.
pans and shit. What do you?
No,
I always assumed it was a can of soup.
I assumed she made the soup herself.
Like there's in her house though. There's literally he opens a can of soup that night to like. Oh look! I can do good things for you.
Oh, really? I didn't. I don't remember. I must have blanked that part out of my mind.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's just a can of soup. I don't know. That's my impression.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but she had her food truck. Why would she have a can of soup?
Why
She should be
not?
making the soup, making the food.
Why? Why are you hung up on that? It's
I,
irrelevant.
it's the little stuff that bothers me in
That's like
movies.
not even a little thing. That's like literally a microscopic.
Yeah, that's a little thing.
Like, oh, I didn't like her hairstyle. Why would she put her hair like that?
Yes,
Like,
you would.
on.
No. So basically, they have a final conversation with the army. They blow up the fake. The
Oh wait,
fake.
so you didn't like the campfire scene? Why not?
I didn't care for the campfire scene.
Why not?
I just felt like it was like kind of. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't like it. Maybe I was sleepy or something and was ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, I can see they needed a scene to prove that he was human to Steve Gutenberg.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's one of those things where I didn't like it, but I don't have an idea to make it better. So sorry.
Yeah, I guess I like it because it's more. It feels more like a science fiction scene than just. Like,
you know why the scene ruined it for me? Because of the tomato soup from the beginning. Ruined it.
Seriously?
So.
Seriously.
No, just kidding. So basically, now all of a sudden we find out Steve Gutenberg has a ranch. So maybe that's why he was living on that base, because he was an orphan. And now his dad left him a ranch in Montana.
No. Well, no, he wouldn't be an orphan. Well, I mean, he could be an orphan, but he would have been like an adult orphan.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, that's why he lived on the Nova facility, because he had nowhere else to go, no family.
I think that was just like a weirdly written line. I don't. I think
okay.
he's not supposed to have literally been only on the base for the last 5 years.
Okay.
Maybe you know what? It's probably like a badly written joke
that he hadn't left.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, I've basically been living here, but like they wrote it badly and then people noticed the line weirdly, so then it's
we assume he lives here.
Yeah, and so then he's talking to like a weird guy who's yeah, we didn't talk about the
white guy. We're saving that for last. We're saving that for last.
Okay.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay.
The number I would say, so they drive off and they're going. So that's another thing about me. So they're driving off. He says, "Oh, I want to be called Johnny now," based on a song that's played twice in the movie. Who's Johnny?
They stole the company van, I guess.
Yeah, they stole the company van. Who's Johnny by DeBarge, the El DeBarge song. So why doesn't Who's Johnny play again when he says, "Oh, I'm Johnny," and they drive off? Why play some other song now? I didn't like that either.
Because that's why what? Why does it fucking matter?
Because it was the song plays twice in the movie. Who's Johnny? Yeah. So that song means so much to him. He's gonna call himself Johnny, And that's the end of the movie. Oh, well, now I'm Johnny Five. Let's drive off into the sunset. But why play a different song? Play
I don't
Who's
know.
Johnny? Come on, Charlie. You got to back me up on this one.
I don't know. That's like I don't. That doesn't matter at
It doesn't
all.
matter to you. Okay. All
No.
right. The elephant in the room. Fisher Stevens
Yeah.
plays Ben, an Indian
Brown
guy,
face. Yeah.
in brown face and contact lenses and wigs.
Yeah.
Um, so apparently the role wasn't supposed to be an Indian guy.
Oh no. Did he
No.
just show up like that?
Yeah, Fisher Stevens was already cast, and they're like,
Mhm.
all right, we're gonna start shooting this movie, and at the last minute somebody says, make him Indian.
Yeah.
So they just like improv that whole thing and like
Yeah.
make him Indian, and
Okay.
it's stereotypical, like
Yeah. All
it's
like
just
the bad English, the like
bad
weird
English.
phrases that he says,
Yep.
and like yeah, I think they try and pretend that it's not a problem because they're like, he has a line where he's like, oh, I'm from Pittsburgh. Oh my family's from originally from
Bakersfield or something.
Bakersfield or
Yeah,
something. And
yeah.
it's like no, but he's still pretending to be Indian. It's like really it's kind of off putting.
Yeah, it was a big deal, the controversy.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's Aziz Ansari. Do you know him from?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was he interviewed the guy about it.
Steve Fisher.
Fisher Stevens. Fisher Stevens is like, he was like, it was a different world. They all say, oh well, it was a different world then.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's their excuse. But yeah, so apparently the director thought it would be funny to have a culture mismatch in the movie, so instead of like auditioning Indian Americans or Indians, they just took the white guy they already cast and made him Indian.
yeah.
So there you go.
They didn't even have to make him Indian. He was
They
just a
didn't.
weird guy.
He
They
could.
could have just kept him as a weird guy and left it at that.
Yeah, but no, they couldn't do that.
Yeah, because they wanted to give him a goofy accent, I guess.
Yeah.
And so they were like, "Oh, we can make him Indian, I guess." And it's like, oh man.
Yeah. So the movie was a hit. Came out May 9th, 1986.
Yeah,
Budget of 15, box office of 40 million.
yeah.
And it did spawn a sequel, starring Fisher Stevens as the star, Indian guy.
I know. I've heard about that. I've never seen it, but like hearing that he's a star, I'm like, oh man, I don't think I want to see that. I found him in this movie. I was already kind of like, he can go out of this movie, please.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you would just. Okay, so you kind of just hated it.
I didn't hate it, but
you were tired of it.
I was tired of it. I had seen it in theaters and loved it as a kid, and now this just didn't.
It didn't hold up in your head.
It didn't hold up for me.
Yeah, it did. I don't know that it did for me. I still enjoyed it, but yeah, I was kind of going like, huh. This is the whole movie.
Yeah, this is it. I was literally like 30 minutes in, and I thought I was an hour in. I was like, whoa, I'm like 30 minutes into the movie.
Because I think 30 minutes in, he's already like been to her house and like done all that, and I think he's already being recaptured, isn't he?
Yeah, I actually enjoy. I mean, I like Steve Guttenberg. I love Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too hard for me to get through it, but
yeah. It does look like one of those. It feels like one of those movies that they would be trying to remake now, though. Sometimes.
Oh, they're absolutely trying to remake it. There's been a couple tries, but it just hasn't. Really? Yeah, it hasn't hit yet. They could probably do it like a little bit darker too. I guess technically the creator is kind of similar in vein.
Yeah, I know. That's why there was, when we were doing that, there was like a comment like, oh, and this is like an AI movie. It's like, relevant because ChatGPT or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking about like this movie and like other movies. I was like, but they've been doing this stuff for a while.
Yeah, they've been doing this for a while. It's short circuit.
And I forgot there's like a very, very low key anti-war thing going on because like the Stephanie, she keeps going on about like oh, like, oh, she like calls the company. Oh, somehow she gets like immediately to like the head of the company.
Yeah.
But in any
Calls him
case,
the
she's like, oh,
warmonger.
I'm looking for warmonger, your head warmonger.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little bit of a. I guess that was
Yeah.
back. That was middle of the Cold War, so
Well, towards the end of it, I
towards
guess.
the end of it, when he wanted to send some robots into Russia
Yeah.
and shoot them
So there's a
all.
bit of that. They like talk. There's like the senator who's like, no, I don't know if I want these like killer robots. You know, I don't know if I want to support that. So I think I can kind of see what they were, in some ways, the depth that they wanted. And there's this stuff where like everyone's like they blow up all the tanks and stuff, and everyone's like clapping and cheering and having like
Yeah,
sipping wine. There's some commentary there, I think.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit
Just,
though.
but it's a kids movie now, and it just goes
I know it
over.
is a kids movie, so it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that also makes me feel bad for the writer. It's like, oh man, you
You
blew it.
butchered my movie.
I guess I'm curious, like, what his vision was, or her vision, what their
Yeah,
vision
I think
was.
the writer. I read it somewhere. The writer was like, didn't expect it to be, you know, such a goofy,
Yeah.
stereotypical.
What,
They
like,
call one
did
guy
his
called it a Disney comedy, but
it kind of is though, right?
yeah,
Like, man and woman fall in love because they're man and woman.
yeah,
Robot wants to be free,
yeah.
and does goofy
SS.
things to get out to be free.
Yeah, it was written by SS Wilson and Brent Maddock.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Any other? One more thing, one more point before we
Yeah.
finish. Um,
About MSG again, or is this
Not MSG, but Fisher Stevens was the Indian guy, which was not intended to
Yeah,
be
he's been doing so many things after.
Indian.
It's I looked it
Yeah.
up.
So originally he was fired and replaced by Bronson Pinchot, but Bronson Pinchot went on to do a sitcom called Perfect Strangers, so they had to
Yeah.
bring Fisher Stevens back. So I thought that was interesting. Did you ever watch Perfect Strangers?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Sitcom in the
Okay.
80s. So there you
But
go.
Fisher Stevens was like on a bunch of stuff. He was like, I think he said he like directed a documentary that got like an award. He's been in Succession for a few seasons, I think.
Yeah, 60 years old, Fisher Stevens.
Yeah. So to go from like brown face to Succession.
Apparently, he was in Asteroid City in some
Yeah,
capacity.
I saw that too. And like several other Wes Anderson. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't remember him. Oh, I guess he was a detective in Asteroid City, but I don't remember that.
I don't
I have
remember
to
that
go.
either.
I don't remember detectives. So, anyway.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We don't have a movie picked out yet for next week, but we will soon. But thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. For Charlie, I'm Contrell. We'll see you on Rewind 5 minutes. Thanks, guys.